Well, hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee, and we're out in the greenhouse today. Look at all my flats I have ready to be filled. And I'll show you, I've got this section, you can barely see it. I got to transplant those. I'm working on planting my seeds. So I promised you, those of you who didn't know a whole lot about gardening, that I would bring you along with me, and I would show you how easy it is to start a garden, even start your own seeds on a budget. Absolutely easy. You can go probably to a local nursery, okay? Let me sit down a second. You could probably go to a local nursery and you can ask them if they have any old flats, inserts and that. Otherwise, they are fairly cheap to buy. You don't have to use them. My first year when I started a greenhouse years ago, I used Dixie cups. They worked beautifully. And then I wrote on the outside of the cup, I put them in, I got some flats like this from a friend of mine, put them in there, and they worked like a charm. I even sold them out of that. Works wonderful. I am labeling mine right now. I have to label mine like, well, I don't have to, but I label mine like this because I sell a lot of these. So, this works pretty good. We're going to turn my chair around here. This is one of those old-fashioned chairs that has the steps to them. Ha! Probably like your grandma had. Okay, so I just got some patty pan squash planted. So let me get these labeled, and then we'll get busy doing the next one. And I'll show you how easy this is. And these labels that I get right here, these are dirt cheap from Amazon. They're little plastic labels, and you get they give you a paint marker with them, which I don't use. You can use it, I don't. I just use a permanent marker, and it works just fine. I am so excited to get all this going. Now these are scallop squash, but I always label them as patty pan, which is the same thing. Most people know them as patty pan. And these are green patty pan. So I'll put a G on the front because I got green and yellow. So I'll know that the G is because they're green. The G is for green, and we're going to fill those in. It's like 70 degrees out today, and it is hot in this greenhouse. It's beautiful. This is the day of the eclipse. We're in the eclipse right now, and ours is supposed to be like 86% covered. So it's kind of neat because it just dimmed down a little bit. It's like somebody dimmed the lights, Nothing big though. I bet you the people who are at where it's 100% eclipse are having a ball seeing that. What a wonderful thing. I believe is what they said is not going to come around again for another 20 years. So, but I wasn't about to travel for that. I got too much to do. I've seen eclipses my time. My neighbors, that's Tracy and Sharon, are driving by waving at me. Okay. I'll listen to John Harnham. Okay, so we got those labeled. Let me fill these in just a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next one. All I do is just Just cover them lightly. I'll tell you, a seed this big, this is a squash seed. I'll take this one out of here. Your seed should only be buried as deep as it is big. See? That's just a little over a 1/4 inch. So you're not gonna put these very deep. You can also just direct sow these. I start a lot of these in my greenhouse because I do sell a lot of them. You don't have to do that. You can direct sow yours. My tomatoes, now I'd tell you your tomatoes and your cabbage and your all your brassicas, all your peppers, your if you're gonna grow celery, all that needs to, you want to start that a little early. Okay, now you see all these over here. A whole bunch of them are all planted. So slide that up over there. My trays were already watered prior to this, so I'm just going to give them a little shot of water. Nothing elaborate. Just to water them down. You don't want to blow the seeds out of there, so water them real lightly. That's it. Okay, so let me move this. Let me switch spots here. Then you'll be able to see me a lot better as I'm doing this. Okay? All right. This is a flat that holds 8 inserts that have 4 cells each. So this flat will hold 40 or 32 plants. Okay? I've been working on my squash, so that's what I'm going to keep right on going on the squash. I got enough of that. Now I'm going to do, this is the straight neck. The early prolific straight neck. That's beautiful. And if you look on the back, as you're brand new to gardening or even starting plants, you look on the back of this and it gives you all the information that you need to get that plant started and maintain it all the way to harvest. Okay? So let me talk a little bit about this for you. Because I know there's people that have told me, man, I kill everything. I can't grow anything. I can grow anything within my zone. And that's the other thing you got to pay attention to, is what zone you're in. I'm in zone 6. Well, I'm right on the cusp. 6, what is it? 6A, 6B. I'm right on the cusp because I'm about 20 miles inland from the lake. So I can grow with great success seeds and plants that are for both of those zones. Okay? And we don't have a very long growing season. Our growing season is about, let's see, our last frost date is in June, early June, first week of June. Our first frost date is probably second week of September. So we don't have that long of a growing season. Not as short as Alaska, but not that long either. So this tells you everything. I'm going to read this to you. I showed this to you. I showed this to you on there. So take a mental note of all that. Everything. Even on this side, it tells you it needs full sun. It tells you to plant them 2 to 3 seeds in one mound, which I don't do that here. That's if you direct sow it. And then it tells you to plant them a 1/2 inch deep, because that's about how big the seeds are. So you got that on the side. And then it tells you to direct sow. I start mine early, which you can. But it tells you about the early prolific, the squash. It says summer bush, early prolific. So you know it says bush, it's not going to be a climber. Okay? It produces insane amounts of straight squash that resemble zucchini. Creamy yellow-skinned fruits are buttery and delicious. The benefit to these are that the entire fruit is edible. Even the flowers and everything is edible on them. The leaves, all that. They stuff the flowers and they make a wonderful dish with them. Okay? This variety will produce late into the season where others dwindle out. This is a must-grow, and my gardener recommends it for your garden. Okay, these will grow These will keep growing. Now, if you want to grow a lot of these, you can start some early so that you have a nice head start on them, and then plant them, and then 2 weeks later or a week later, I'd say maybe a week to 2 weeks later, you can direct sow another full set of plants, so, or full set of seeds. And then these will not die. They won't die back like many of them do. These will go right until your frost kills them. So they'll produce. They're prolific too. Lots. They're high producers. Okay, let me finish telling you about this. This gives you so much information. Okay, now it tells you to direct sow them when the soil is workable. Well, we couldn't do that. Let me see. We couldn't do that in my area because it could snow after that, so it would kill the seeds. So we gotta wait. We wouldn't be able to direct sow these until probably the middle of May. I want to say middle of May, and that would give it a start before, you know, it started coming up. So because our frost, it could frost in June. So it tells you the days to germinate on here. It says 5 to 10 days to germinate. The germination temperature, that means the temperature of your soil, can be about 70 degrees. If your soil is 70 degrees, it will germinate. Easy, quick. Days till maturity, 85 days. So you count 85 days from the time you plant the seed, not the time it sprouts, the time you plant the seed. Plant spacing is 36 inches if you're going to plant them in rows. These can be put in a container. I mean, they don't say they're container friendly, but I've grown them in containers before. So you could grow it in a container on your porch. The squash size is 12 to 14 inches long. So they're a good long size. And the smaller, the more delicious they are. It's like the zucchini. The smaller they are, the more delicious they are. But if they get any bigger than that, they're really only good for deep frying or zucchini bread. So let's get these planted. Okay? All right. Now this is what I do. This is already wet. It doesn't look like it, but it is. Now I just come through and I push all this down because I don't want that seed, and I take out any stems. Course. I don't want that seed to fall down in any hole or gap and get lost and get ruined. So I make sure that there's none of that. There we go. We got that. Okay. I might not use all. I got the hiccups. I might not use all these, so we're just going to go like so. Now I just drop one in each cell. When you direct sow these, you're going to direct sow them. You're going to make a little mound of dirt. You're going to put, just like cucumbers, 2 to 3 seeds in one mound. But when I plant them indoor like this, I just start them in these cells. Now, if you don't have these cells, you can use a container. And I'll show you that because I got this container right here all ready. It's got holes in the bottom, filled, watered, all ready to go for my cabbage seeds, which are itty bitty. So I'll show you, we'll plant cabbage too. Okay. And I do sell a lot of these, so I'll probably go ahead and grow a lot of these, or start a lot of these. I sell a lot of them, you know, harvested too, a lot of the produce. All right, that's going to go right back in there. Okay, now what I do with these is I'm only going to put one tag in this because it's all the same. If you have these and you got different ones, just label each one. So this is straight neck. I'm going to do yellow. Yellow straight. That's all I do. Okay. So we got that. Now, this is my soil mix. If you look at this, this is not a thing, nothing, absolutely nothing elaborate. Okay? You can see the vermiculite in there. I got peat moss in here. And I got the a potting mix, which is a moisture control. You can do your own, friends, and you can do it really cheap. This is cheap for me. I bought a big 2 cubic foot bag of peat moss, and I got the bags of, I love the Miracle Grow moisture control. I love that stuff. The blue or the yellow, both I like. And I got that in a bag, and then I also have Miracle Grow, a seed starter that's specifically for seed starting. I got all 3 of those mixed up in here, equal parts, all mixed up, and it makes a beautiful, light, fluffy soil. And it works wonderful, okay? And that's fairly cheap on a budget. The one bag of my moisture control of my Miracle Grow will cost 17 bucks, okay? That seems pricey, but it goes a long way, okay? My great big 2 cubic foot peat moss was $13. Perfect. And then my seed starting, I think I paid, that was pricey. That was, and that's why I get it, and then I spread it out. That was $50 for 3 cubic feet, 3 cubic foot bag. Okay, so that's 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks. 80 bucks? No, 50, yeah, 90 bucks, under 100 bucks. We'll just say under 100 bucks. And for me, this will fill many, probably, well, I bought 4 bags or 5 bags of my Miracle Grow. I bought 1 bag of peat moss, and I got one bag of the Miracle Grow seed starting. And that is all I'm going to need to do all my flats. And there's lots. So you wouldn't even have to use that much. And if you really want to do your own, you can buy a bag of vermiculite, you can buy a bag of peat moss, and you can use some nice composted dirt with manure, some compost, nice organic compost. Mix it all up in equal parts, and you're going to have a beautiful seed starter. Something that will feed them all the way through till you plant them. So, you don't need anything fancy. Absolutely not. All these people that tell you, oh, you need to grow, you need to use this, you need to do that, and you won't never grow, and your plants won't do well. I'm telling you, I'm going to take you all the way through, and I'll prove them all wrong, because my stuff grows beautifully, and I always have tons, and I love it. So you don't have to. Maybe they have to in their world, but we don't have to in ours. This is all we have to do. Now, it says to bury them a 1/2 inch deep. I just cover them a little bit in here. And these will have a beautiful head start. 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost is when I want to, here in my zone, when I want to start them. And it works out fantastic. And you'll see how healthy and beautiful these get. Okay? We're going to water these in. Now, because I already watered, you didn't see how I did that. I really soaked the bottom. I really soaked the entire flat. And I let it sit for about 15, 20 minutes to soak down and get everything all good and wet in that before I actually planted it. So, and you didn't see that part, but that's what you do. And then you just put your seed in, put your little bit of dirt on top like we showed you, and then just give it a light watering. Okay. This is already, well, we're going to have to water that again. See that? How it's got dry on the inside? I want this wet through and through. So we're going to give this a little more water. And I'll show you how I do that. Oh, I love playing in dirt. All right. That's going to be pretty good right there. I'm going to pat that down. See that? Water coming up out of there? That's what you want. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to rinse my hand off. Okay, so now I gotta put these back. I'm not gonna do any more squash right now. I'll do those later. I need to do cabbage. And I need to do my red cabbage. I got Napa. Now we're gonna use the Bear Mountain seeds, this red. And then we're gonna do celery. We got a few of these we can use, these bigger containers. And then I just transplant them. And of course, I'll bring you along when we do that too. Now I'm just going to sprinkle these because there's a lot of them. That's probably all I'm going to need. Just a few. There's quite a few in there. Oh, I want to put this back in here. Okay, then we're just going to take, and we're just barely going to cover these, just barely, because those are so itty bitty. Okay, we're going to write cabbage, and this is the Mammoth Red. That's it. Then when these start to come up, you'll be out here in the greenhouse with me and we will go ahead and we'll transplant them, but that's not going to be for a little while yet. We're going to give them just a little shot of water. Actually, I'm going to mist this because it is so tiny of leaves. Just give that a little mist. Beautiful. All we needed. Okay, now with this, I'm going to show you. I want to see if we got our celery too. And then we're going to transplant some of those. We need to get those transplanted. I started those in the house. Okay, I'm going to fill this up. And this is my mix. See that? I'm going to do it right here so you see what I'm doing. Normally I just take it over to the bucket and fill it right in. I don't want that wood chip in there. I'm just going to use all this. Okay. Now I'm going to get more. Now that I got all those three, I'm going to mix these up real good. I'll show you. I'll just get it here and mix it. You can see how nice that is. Just mix it up. For those of you who like astrology and the sun signs, you're going to know that I love digging in the dirt and I love growing stuff because my birthday is May 19th and I am a Taurus. And yes, I love my gardens. Okay, now I don't get this wet on this side. I'm going to put these over there and we're going to get them wet and they're going to need to sit. So I'm going to fill a few of these up. I just showed you how I did it. I'm going to fill a few of these up and get ready for the next round. And then we'll get them planted. Okay, friends. I got this filled up and watered and patted down. Now I'm not going to need to put anything, I'm not going to need to put any dirt on top of these because these are so itty bitty. These are celery seeds. These are my Bear Mountain seeds. Okay? These are so tiny that I'm just going to do a couple in each one because I can always thin them out. And put them into other, other like other these are so tiny. Invest in one of those little seed things. Okay, that's good. These are going back in here. And I'm just going to make one tag for these. Because this is golden celery. Oh, that's a nice one. I always grew the Utah tall. And it's a self-blanching, so that's nice too. I can write that on the next tag. All right, we're gonna just barely cover these. These probably need light to germinate. A lot of your seeds, a lot of your small seeds do. Okay, we're just going to just barely cover. And it doesn't look like I'm putting anything on them at all, but believe me, they're getting covered. All right, I'm gonna set these over here in water. We're gonna mist these. Because they're so tiny. Just give them a little bit of mist. You take those, you water those tiny seeds with anything stronger and you'll blow them right out of the dirt. Alright, so there we have that. That's done. Okay. Now, we're going to do some Napa cabbage. We're going to get this plant up. Same thing. This tells you that this is beautiful. I love the back of this, how much information you get. Some of them don't give you a whole lot of information, but some of them do. These even tell you that they're cold tolerant. Can you see that? Right there. I don't know if my finger's showing. Right there. Cold tolerant. Nice, huh? Full sun and a 1/2 inch deep. These are going to be okay. And we can plant these 2 or 3 in each cell because I can always thin it out and transplant them into another flat if need be. And of course I will. I'll probably take the extra ones out and just plant them in my garden because they are cold tolerant. But I still like to start these and give them a head start. I can see about 2 or 3 dropping. Okay. A little more to grow yet. There we go. Now that is our Napa cabbage. We're going to do the same thing with this. Label it and just barely cover them. Napa cabbage. Okay. I try to get all the sticks and schmutz out of here. Okay. That's about it. Perfect. We'll give these a watering, and these are all done. Let's see if we can't sneak that celery right in there too. There we go. Dill coming up, my mammoth dill in my little container. I just planted that the other day too. That's wonderful. Okay, now I'm gonna wipe this down a little bit. Now we're gonna water this. I gotta water a couple of these in, so I will be back with you when those are wet and ready to go. Okay, friends. I love being out here in this greenhouse. It's just, I love it. That's cardboard. I had stuff sitting on top of that. We can slide that right over there. Beautiful. I got these shelves up here. I very seldom drink pop. But Michigan's favorite, burners. I don't drink pop very often. All right. We are going to transplant some of these. And I need to water these down real good. No, you know what? Maybe I won't. Because then they'll break apart a little easier. Maybe we'll label that kind of. Okay. What I usually do is I go through here. Make a nice little hole in each one of these. Transplant them. And it works beautifully. Everyone has their own way of doing things. I do mine this way. Works beautifully. Everything involved, even your pocketbook. We built our own greenhouse, and we built this out of cattle panels, and I ordered the 6 mil plastic on Amazon. We got the wood milled from our Amish friend. So we built this greenhouse. It's a 10 by 20 for under $300. The plastic probably was the most expensive because that was over $100. And the rest of it was, actually the cattle panels, I think we got five of them, and they were 30 a piece. So between the cattle panel and the plastic, that was the most expensive. And then the rest of it was the wood and the hardware for the doors and stuff. It worked out just fine. Okay. I just peel a little chunk out of here. And these roots are looking beautiful in there. There's one right there. And he's gorgeous, so I'm just going to go right down in there. See how easy that is? Maybe you can't see that well. I just take, you see how that is? I just break them apart real carefully. Until I get them all apart. leave that one, and you got to be careful so you don't break them. That's all we do. So I'm going to lay them on here. And I just lay them in these holes. That one's not a good one. And just plant them up in there. See how nice that goes along? I don't take anything off that root. I don't want to disturb that root. So I just push it down. Beautiful. These are looking wonderful. So that's all I do with these, friends. Sometimes you give it a little shake. They come right apart beautifully. Put your fingers in there and be real careful because they're a little dainty. They could have grown a little more if I would have put them in a bigger container, but I need to get them out and get them in their own space. So I broke that one. Here's another one. Beautiful. Here's one that's looking nice. See how they fall right down in there for you? Beautiful. Those are gorgeous, friends. So now we'll get another bunch. We got this beautiful one here. You see them okay? They're gorgeous. That's all I do. And I'll use this whole flat for these too. Oh, that one's no good with the seed never come off in them. All right, there we go. You know who's good at this, who usually does this for me, is my daughter, Susie. She can transplant beautifully. All right. Oh, I ruined that one. Nope, that one's not good either. Okay. I know this might be boring to some of you, but this, bear with me, this is for those of you who don't know how to garden and are still want to learn. So the rest of our little beautiful community will just bear with us and add in some tips and tricks for them that you know, and we'll make sure these folks know how to do this when we're done. You always got to be careful with those leaves so that they don't break. So you don't want to break them off. But I tried to leave a nice little chunk of dirt on the bottom of that root so that it will go into that hole nicely. Look at how nice that's doing. And we're just going to put these into some of these right here. Cover some of them up. And a little more dirt, like this one. This one, there we go. Perfect. So now that one, I just kind of roll it around in my fingers. There we go. Until it releases. I don't need all that dirt in there. There we go. We're going to give him a little more here. Actually, we'll give him some of this. She's beautiful. There we go. Okay, here's... Well, we got a few more to go. These are peppers, and I'm telling you, friends, I don't always have good luck with peppers. So I figured I'd start these ones extra early, and maybe this year I'd have better luck with them. And I ruined that one. That happens. Suffer your losses. There's a good one. Okay. And here's a good one. Beautiful. Now you can see it. That sun is gorgeous coming in here. Take a look. Aren't they beautiful? Gorgeous. We're going to give them a little bit of a mist. Actually, you know what? We're going to give them a little bit more dirt. Just a little more. I wouldn't have to give them the seed starter, but that's all right. Okay, now they're going to be happy over there, and they're going to grow beautiful, and they're going to produce a load of stuff, load of peppers for us. So that we're going to water these. I'm just going to mist them because I don't want to, wrong one, yeah, I don't want to damage the leaves on them, so we're just going to give them a mist. Because remember, it was pretty wet anyway.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
It makes me feel so good that I can show people how to garden, how to afford it, you know, reasonably. Get my chair. I moved those flats that I had over there. Remember seeing them all over there? I moved them down under this table here because then I can just reach and grab them, and I have that for my plants. So anyway, excuse me, my nose itches. Okay, so anyway, those are all moved. Boy, these were getting nice and wet. I'm going to sit here for a second and talk to you. I hope you're not getting seasick. It's awful windy and my camera's even jiggling. It is beautiful, 70 degrees today. Gorgeous. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to do the jalapeno ones, but I could do, oh, these are the Santa Fe Grand, and I can do the Great Marconis. Oh, those are beautiful too. Those peppers get huge, and they are gorgeous. All right, we'll do the Santa Fe Grand first, okay? Because there's just a few of them in there. And I'll tell you why there's only a few of them in there. My goofy cat got up on the windowsill where they were, you know, where I put them after I planted them, and she knocked them over. So I tried to salvage what I could, and this is what I got. Okay, so these ones will work. Really is very easy. Look at that root. Can you see that? How tiny that is and thin. It's easy to break, so you always got to be careful with it. A lot of people say, oh, it's a mistake to transplant them that small. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it can be if you're not careful. However, I really don't have much of a choice. I got to get them out of the container that they're in. That sounded like a train horn, but I think that was a semi with a train horn, because there's no train up in here. Beautiful. All right. These are going to get watered. I'm not going to worry about that last one because I got too many right now to mess with it. I can plant that later. Okay. Okay, friends. So you know what? I showed you transplanting a few of them anyway. I showed you planting, which is very easy. And that's about all that I'm going to do today. Because I've already done quite a bit. Well, take a look there, friends. We got additions to the farm. We bought 15 chickens, all hens, all pullets, all different kinds. We got Ice Brown, we got Silver Laced Wyandottes, we got regular Wyandottes, we got Buff Orpington, and we got Black Astrolorps, and we've got Jersey Giants, Black Jersey Giants. We got 15 of them. Aren't they cute? And you know, they almost got their feathers. That's why they're outside. They got their feathers. I shouldn't say almost. They do have their feathers. These are probably 5 to 6 week old birds. Okay? I do that for a reason. I only paid $1 a piece for them. And they sell them at $1 a piece when they're no longer these fluffy, cute little chickie poos, you know? But the way I look at it is those tiny little chicks that you get that are so small and so cute. You can't put them outside. You got to leave them in your house all the time until they're this age. until they get all their feathers. Not only that, you take a chance on them dying. Anyway, you take a chance of them dying because that just happens. I would get 25 of them and I'd wind up with 15 because 10 would probably die. You know, and even though I had them in the house and stuff. So the last few years, all I've done is I've gotten the older ones, plus the little chicks, the cute little ones with the fuzzy little bodies. You pay almost $5 a piece for. So if you let them raise them for the first 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, let them feed them, let them water them, let them house them in their beautiful brooder boxes. You can buy a chicken for $1. Bring it home, and it's perfect. And now that the chances of them dying are very, very slim. So that's our new addition. If you see behind me, there's our brooder box. Look at how green stuff is getting already. Isn't it amazing? We're working on our rototiller. See? And there's our Cub Cadet, our little utility trailer, or our utility vehicle. Have fun with that. Anyway, that's it, friends. There's Mr. Wayna. We're going to go because we've got to work on this. It's a hot mess. It's been sitting all winter, so we got to get done so we can get our gardens over. Let's see. It would be on the other side. That's a log bed. Be on the other side of that log bed. So be right about there is our in-ground garden that we're going to. I'm going to put sunflowers in there, and then up in that area along the chicken coop, all along that chicken coop or the chicken fence, I'm going to put more walking onions. So anyway, you all have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next video, friends. And as always,
thanks for watching.